On today's program, we'll be looking at something a bit different. It is said that there's no thriving economy that does not have an effective transport system backing it. Now, in that transport system, there are different forms of transportation, and one of them stands out in the sense that it's able to carry bulk goods and people from one point to the other. That's the rail system. From the colonial days till date, Nigeria has had a rail system. Indeed, there is a 500-kilometer rail line between Bauchi and Maiduguri that was established by the colonial masters. But then, back in the modern Nigeria, how effective has the rail system been? With all the modernization that is going on from the north to the south, the east and the west, the trains have begun to move again. But how many people are patronizing the trains? The festive period, that's December, January, saw an increased number of people using the trains. But were they really enjoying the ride? Newsnight sat down for a conversation with the managing director of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, engineer Fidet Ohiria, who talks to us about owning the rail system and how individuals and corporate organizations can plug into the 25-year master plan. Mr. Fidet Ohiria, thank you for sticking with us on Newsnight.
It's my pleasure being with you.
I hope I got the name well, Ohiria. Thank you. The Nigerian transportation space is one that leaves much to be desired in some quarters, and a lot of people will say that. But you have been at the helm of affairs at the Railway Corporation for this is your second term, right?
Yeah. Almost at the end of my second term, glory be to God. And Nigeria who gave the opportunity for me to serve them. Commerce, industry, and economy depends much more on logistics. In the sense that without movement on goods and person, the economy of a nation cannot grow. The developed world, first of all, concentrated on delivery to ensure that they have good mode of transportation. And that's why when the colonial master came, before Nigeria, they concentrated on rail, so that they can move the raw materials to their various countries and turn them to and add value and bring them back and use the rail to distribute them. What is also unfortunate that after they left, Nigeria government did not add much
to the rail system,
to the railway,
except
about 500 kilometers that was done from Bauchi to Maiduguri. That was done by Nigerian railway engineers, no foreign or expert technology, in the 50s. And after that, nothing happened till. And
that particular rail line is still there?
It's still there.
Bauchi to Maiduguri?
Yeah, Bauchi to Maiduguri is still there.
500
plus kilometers.
500 plus kilometers. Now, I was going to say, the rail is amongst the oldest forms of transportation, and as you said, indeed, one of the most reliable. But it looks as if the attention of the Nigerian government, yes, you've talked about the fact that since the colonial masters left, the Nigerian government didn't pay much attention to the railway system. But would you say that has been the situation since you came in? I mean, this is your second term.
I think I'm one of the luckiest persons. When I saw Nigeria, that at least during my time, Nigerian railway started looking up. That the rail industry in Nigeria started looking up. Just immediately before my time, Obasanjo entered the contract with the Chinese. It was a contract to do a double lane from Lagos to Kano. We did groundbreaking at Kajala, but nothing eventually happened before he left. And then the Yaradua Goodluck administration came, and they said they will review the contract, and later they segmented it. That gave birth to the Abuja Kaduna, with the support of the then Vice President, Sambo. He ensured that he pursued that project, that Kaduna to Kano came to reality. That's what happened. And so then the Buhari administration came and they took the bull by the horn. In less than 6 months, the track was delivered and we went into operation. People will not remember there was a place called the Holy Ghost or Sacred Hospital at Kubwa that for almost about 2 years that made Abuja Kaduna not really become a reality. We were going there almost every week and 2 weeks till we are able to settle with the Catholic faith. The minister then made sure that all relevant and necessary things to be done to make sure Kubwa came into existence. That's how that line came up. So thank God with that, I won't lie, I was not, as a real technocrat, I was of the opinion that construction would have started in Lagos, being the port, our time going up gradually, so that without freight, passenger is just a service to, I want to say, to humanity, because you cannot pay enough for passenger movement, even on air. So, but he later became what I thought. It was proper that Kaduna Abuja was done before any other track, because it now opened those in government, and those are the corridor of power, that rail can be a reality in Nigeria, and it can be of great benefit to the people of Nigeria if we have a very functional rail.
So historically, now, of course, you talked about the Bauchi to Maiduguri, the 500 kilometers. The other rail line that seemed to be the oldest is Lagos, right? Around the port, because of the transportation of goods. But even that one is not easy. Has it been resuscitated?
You know, we have what we call the narrow gauge, the 1057 millimeter, the colonial track. We are operating from Lagos to Kano before the unfortunate incident in March, the attack on the Kaduna Abuja. And there was also almost a similar incident, but God did not allow it to happen on that route. Till today, Mina, Kaduna, from the security advice we get, that is not very safe. So a day before that, we are running a train from Kano to Lagos, passenger train, which we have to terminate in Kaduna because of the we got the security situation. And those the locomotive and coaches, it's not that we're about to move them. So during this almost 2 years period, we could not operate between, let's say, Ilorin up north. So, and if you don't even live in the house, it will dilapidate. So when we are not running, Nigerians descended on the track and started vandalizing them. And our staff in those various stations could not even stay because of fear of attack. So, but immediately this minister came, he encouraged us and said, let us do everything possible that while we are waiting for the modern track, we should
keep the old tracks functioning.
The old track, Lagos to Kano. And we did make a promise to him that first quarter of this year, we'll be able to start running Lagos to Kano. I will also say I'm very happy. We did that quietly in-house, restored the track, and as we speak, by last week, Wednesday, a locomotive have been able to move from Lagos to Kaduna. And we have also been able to move from Kaduna to Kano. We hope within next week, all those coaches that we are left behind Kaduna, they are working on them now. So we move them without people, but our staff, as what we call a trial run, to transit from Kano to Lagos. And we also do other trial runs before we can declare it open and use it for goods and passengers. That's where we are on Lagos to Kano and Port Harcourt to Manduguri. While we are looking for funds to also engage in modernization, the government felt that if you stop operating on Port Harcourt to Manduguri, people will forget that the rail ever existed, and a contract was given to Chinese about $3.29 billion to reconstruct. Not just to do it, you have to increase what we call the azo load, remove the gradients, remove those reverse curves, strengthen the bridges so that it can carry more load.
More weight, yeah.
And I was also there, I think, last week to see what they are doing. And we are hoping by March we'll be able to run commercial operation from Port Harcourt to Aba, while construction will proceed maybe to Omo here, then Enugu.
Okay. You know, the rail network around Nigeria, what is the original plan? Is it to encircle Nigeria with the rail lines? Is it possible to have that?
Okay, before now, what the colonial master did is to do just a perpendicular line, Port Harcourt to Manduguri, Lagos to Kano, because you have the port.
In Port Harcourt, you have the port in Lagos. Yeah.
So on the eastern axis, you can move to port and they move their raw materials. And on the western axis,
same thing.
Then there was a crossing within Kaduna, that's Kafachan. Akanda was called Kafachan Junction and Kaduna Junction.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you have goods to carry from Lagos to Port Harcourt, which means by rail, you have to get to Kaduna first, then start coming down. So it made it not very attractive.
Okay.
It's about 3,505 kilometer length of track. But now the policy is to link what we call 25 years plan that was put in place during the
Obasanjo time, yes.
Was first of all to rehabilitate that old one and make it very functional, and now start constructing a modern track to link all the state capitals, link all the potential industrial areas, and we have what we call inland dry port in each, I think about 7 of them.
In the 6 geopolitical zones.
Fortunately enough, I was part of those meetings, and they were located in various locations. I think one was in Maduguri, Adamawa.
There's one in Kano.
Kano, I think Abia. So and they were to be linked with rail. Then you now have that central rail that was done primarily for iron and steel. Itakpe to Ajakuta, Warri to Ajakuta, then Itakpe.
Yeah.
But I was also lucky that after much conviction, the government of Buhari took it up and turned it to multi-use, both passengers and freight, not just for iron ore. First of all, they have to build stations where passengers can board, and it was also opened. It's a 312 kilometers from Warri to Itakpe. Track, that is the distance, not the track length. And we've been operating that now for some time. And we are moving passengers, and we have been moving pipes for this AKK project. Those big pipes that they are using for the cars, I will move them from Warri to Itakpe. From Itakpe, they now go by road to other destination.
So that means if the rail actually stretches from Itakpe out, it will make it a whole lot easier to move some of these things. But you see, indeed, we both agree that the rail system will make commerce a lot easier and a whole lot cheaper, because I know that the cost of moving from Abuja, for instance, to a place like Warri, by road will cost almost 70,000.
Yeah.
But by rail, it's like
It's
a third of
yeah,
the cost on the road.
Yeah.
But the issue of security is also there.
I think
So there are those who argue that it's because of the speed of the trains. If the trains were faster, it will make it more difficult for the bandits or those who are seeking to attack the trains to even attack.
you see, the safest means of travel is still the rail. Forget about what happened.
The airlines would also tell you the same thing.
But you know, when you're an airline, your BP goes up, whether you land safely or not. Rail means of transport is only the means of transport. When you are getting to a destination, there's an announcement made that please, the next station is so, get ready to leave, and people will stand and start going to the door. Or like, when you're about to land, they say 30 your beds.
Yeah.
So you see, rail. I went for a course in the US, in the Marine Academy, and we were in New York, and most of our facilitators were coming from Washington, and they were using rail. And one of the case studies was that it is faster to go by rail than even go by air. One of the lecturers would ask, why? He said, okay, if I was to come here, I came by rail. If I was to come here by air, I will make sure I wake up at least 2.5 hours to my boarding time. Then I would drive from downtown to the airport. I would do my boarding pass and wait to be called. I can, in rail, within 10 minutes, I can get to the rail station in Washington, and before you board, in 2 hours, we are in New York. Meanwhile, I will be at the airport for 2 hours before I depart. So also, even in Nigeria, with the narrow and low speed we run on the narrow gauge, no trailer will leave Lagos and get to Kano in 72 hours. But rail will leave Kano with the old gauge of 40 kilometers per hour. We get to Kano before. We are talking about 40 tons moving at the same time, with probably 3 people in control. We say Abuja Kaduna is functioning. We were almost doing 10 trips a day, 5 down before that incident. Where they now advise, don't leave, we are leaving by 6, don't leave, 6 is too early because of fear of being kidnapped. So leave by 8. Make sure your train stop by 5. Time.
So, but that's a question I was asking about the matter of security. How's that being handled?
You see, we'll be discussing about rail security. As a sincere and an honest person, I always advise my principal, rail security cannot be in isolation to the entire nation's security. In the rail industry, you have basic security you provide. And all our construction, we are doing, we make sure we imbibe that worldwide acceptable standards for security. The additional security that we're asking for should be for the whole nation. Because if the rail is well protected, I have to go through the road to get to the rail station. And when I get home, I have to also be protected. There should be that single entity that is making sure all over Nigeria are well looked at and necessary intelligence are received. So you cannot protect rail and say, I'm on rail, I'm well protected. I drop at the station. From station to my house, something happened. And let me don't say I'm trying to trivialize it, but the more rail you have, the more idle hand you will have to perpetuate the insecurity.
The less idle hands you have.
We have over 10,000 employees, direct.
Across the country?
Across the country. So imagine that we cover the whole, India, America, China. Check the number of people they have that are working, that have means of employment because they have a very wide expanse of rail. So also the indirect, you go to Edo now, you can see company. They are citing those companies there, hoping that they will be able to move their goods and raw material by rail. So to go to Rigasa, people forget, even when, during good luck, we went for the groundbreaking, eventually we could not do it for fear of insecurity at Rigasa. When we wanted to start operation, it was a major discussion. How, say Rigasa is not safe, Rigasa is not safe. But today, Rigasa is turning to a new city. Rigasa is turning to a new city. Different things are springing up there. So if you look at every heart of not just only in Nigeria, if you go to Ibadan, Dugbe is the heart of railway. If you go to Enugu, what do you call it now? Is it Holy Ghost?
Holy Ghost area, it's around the stadium there.
If you go to Port Harcourt, so go to Imbo in Lagos, go to Mushin, which means rail brings development and it brings economic growth. When Abacha came, that's when Chinese entered Nigeria. And luckily enough, I was also among the first set to go to China. When we went to China, when we are doing visiting sites, we go by roads. We sometimes travel 2 nights, 2 days to get to our destination with bus. There was no rail network. So they concentrated on the rail network and the economic boom. So from Hong Kong to Beijing to all over China. And they created the industry to start manufacturing the rolling stock. We created a boom. And today, everybody goes to China for rail development, either by civil, mechanical, or everything. So it means rail, they went through rail to get to that industrial development they have now.
Indeed, you've taken us down memory lane and giving us an exposition into what the railway system was like. And your journey. Yes, you say, before we went to that break, you were talking about your best not being good enough, could have been better. In, I think it was 2023 or thereabout, you were supposed to have faced a disciplinary action. Please, let us, I think it had to do with that Kaduna incident, the Kaduna Rail incident. Did you face that disciplinary action? What was the punishment meted out to you?
There was nothing like disciplinary action. You know, being what we are depressed, we always want to. You see, the minister went on inspection at the first outing, and unfortunately, the lifts didn't work. And it was months that the lifts were not working. And the press asked him, and he said, he will ensure disciplinary action is meted out. He didn't say DMD. And when I heard that, I rushed to Abuja and I met him. And it was annoying that the lifts were not working. We sat down, we explained how it, because there was an agreement with the installer and who's supposed to be maintaining it. And the installation not directly supervised by railway or by the ministry. So he understood it better, but he said, it's your baby, go and take charge of it, and we took charge of it. And ever since, we have made sure that the lifts are working. We'll bend backwards and ensure we put uninterruptible power supply, solar, whether there is lights, because the complaint the installer was giving that because of the light not stable, and when it comes, the voltage may not be required voltage, and the equipment is a very sensitive one. We are bound to have failure. So what we did is to install solar power, so that the public light now is not the backup instead of the other way around. So I can say the disciplinary action I faced, for me flying from Lagos, not prepared to Abuja, and facing a new minister that I have not met before then. I think we took the challenge and squared it up and things are working well.
So would you say all the things that are happening now are aligned to the 25-year master plan? That master plan was 2011.
Yeah, I say partially. Why I say partially, by now it will have been getting concluded. But, you know, the funding issue is a problem. Thank God we now have, the will is there, and everybody is now talking about rail. Both the mighty and low talk about rail. Those who have the knowledge, who don't have the knowledge, now comment on rail. Unlike before, when nobody even know talk about it in Nigeria. It's a major topic now. And that's why I said, thank God it happened in my time. And I pray that it continue to grow. We have a 320 kilometer of modernized track. We have 187 track Abuja Kaduna. We have about 164 kilometers from Apapa. And people now come to say, meet MD, I want to move container, I want to move container with rail. So that is, I think, a right direction. And I believe if we link Itakbe to Abuja, that should be a priority. Linking Itakbe to Abuja, knowing that Kaduna is coming full swing. Anytime within the next 1 year or 2 years, Kano will be linked to Abuja. Which means if you link Itakbe to Abuja, you have almost linked south-south-southeast to Kano, to north. And it's easier now that it is removed from exclusive list to concurrent list. What stopped Nasarawa from tapping to the national rail?
Which is another side of this matter of saying, okay, you have a 25-year master plan for the rail system in Nigeria, but now it's removed, it's now sort of like broken down so the states can actually build their own rail lines and hook up to the Nigerian rail system. How is that working out? Have you had conversations with the states, and how are they beginning to tap into this amended portion of the Nigerian transport system?
It's a good thing. It's not to public knowledge that states can control their rail, but our act never forbidden anybody from doing rail. What the act says that the only thing that should be make sure that the Nigerian Railway Corporation guide them to do the rail. That's how Lagos State came on about the blue and red line.
Okay.
And they we work together, and they got the relevant approval. They started constructing rail. That's how the then River State Governor, Rotimi Amechi, started doing the monorail.
Yes.
I was also part of that. We are going to Port Harcourt. We addressed the State Assembly for them to get the approval to start doing, and we gave the relevant approval. So, even when it becomes concurrent, there must be that
sort of like a regulation
to ensure that, because the state will do rail and you have to link up. You have to know that you do your own 1 meter, the other one 1.5. So it has to be a standard. And that standard has to have to be controlled by Nigerian Railway Corporation, no matter the name they change it to. So the Railway Act, a single person can come and say, I have the fund, because I have this product, I want to do a rail to this place. What you just need to do is you apply, they look at your, is it good enough to go? So now that people who think making it exclusive or making it, I think is that willing power to do it. Because somebody still need to control. Aviation, people still control aviation. That I can buy my plane doesn't mean you can just go into the sky.
Yeah, it's a regulator. No.
So also, they think there is a portion in the Railway Act that says anybody can, but you must do this to do this. And I've cited example of people who did that.
Yeah.
So, but with what is peculiar about the Itakbe, Warri, Itakbe, Abuja, is that it's almost getting closer to every state, that you can do 70 kilometers to enter to national rail. You can link up. What stop Benue from
connecting to
you don't necessarily need to do Benue, Makurdi so you can find the shorter distance to link to the national rail.
So we can go from Abuja now to Itakbe to Warri?
No, can't go, but we tried a PPP option and gave a contract around 1999, that we are sitting here to see how it will work. Because my brother, it's just like rail is not cheap all over the world. It's not cheap. It's like providing it. When you provide it, people can bring their coaches like you bring your car, although it's not also cheap. Because if you want, like ABC, if you want to stop operating, you can auction his buses to another person. But if you bring local and wagon, so many people have the resources to buy it. But when the government can't dodge away from it, do the infrastructure, the rail. Not what stop Dangote from bringing his rail and be moving from Obajena and using the national rail and pay a fee to use the track instead of investing on trailer every 6 months.
Okay.
So we tried a PPP arrangement to link Itakpe to Abuja. It has been going in cycles. The contractor will come to this, say money to raise money to do this, because that contract is I think 3.2.9 or so, and with they to encourage him, they gave him the deep sea port so that he can earn money through the port.
Deep sea port in
Warri.
Okay.
So, but that's where we are with that. But I think it is high time we take it up and find another way of taking Itakpe to Abuja. Instead of people going by road to Itakpe to now go to Warri. No, from Warri they go to Port Harcourt, they go to Agbo, they go to Onitsha. I know people who fly from Lagos to Warri, join the rail, go to Uromi, and from that they go home. They go from Abuja to Itakpe, join the rail. I
have a couple of friends who did that. But this matter of contracts being given and then they're not followed through, especially in the rail system, to meet up with this 25-year plan, because 11 years, I mean, it started in 2011.
Yeah.
This is 2024, 13 years in, and not much is being, that's not what the plan says.
Yeah.
So how can we quickly get the railway master plan operational, as in back on track? Because it looks as if it's somewhat off track, somewhat.
25-year plan, don't forget that term, the economist, all things being equal. It's just for us to just keep the 25 years rolling plan in our brain to ensure it's not the 25 years that matters, it's the deliverables, the output that you can get. Link our states, link the ports, either dry or wet, link where you have mineral resources that need to be moved in bulk to the rail. And if we do 100 kilometers every year, in 20 years, we have done 2,000 kilometers. That is the way I would put it. But unfortunately, what is pursuing the money that we have is quite great, and it's much. And rail is not what you invest today and get the money tomorrow. And the rail is not what you invest today and hope to repeat in terms of naira, dollar, or pounds. What you reap, peace of mind. What you reap, growth of industry. You see, what people produce, and sometimes what you produce to get to the market, the cost of taking to the market is higher than the cost of producing it. And when you now get to the market, because of the high cost, the patronage is down. A lot of people can't patronize it, and the sale is slow. Go back to it's a cycle. The factory will stop producing. Whereas, if you have means of moving the finished product or the raw material to your site, the product will be cheap. You sell in volumes, and you continue to produce. People will be engaged in those factories.
Are the coaches fitted to carry these things?
Yes, we have various, like right now, as a trial, we brought in 20 that can move live
Livestock, yeah.
We have cold room that can issue coaches that
Cold storage.
you can decide to slaughter your cow in Bauchi and you move it by rail. We have them. We have all various specialized
Coaches.
It's not just the coaches for passengers. We have for cement. We have for grains that you can load. Instead of bagging the grain, you can load and with a conveyor upload. Like that's what Flour Mill was doing those days. They load their wheat in grains, we move them to cattle, and they upload. We call them hopper wagon, covered. Then we have the one that's open for also moving stores. So there are various types of wagons.
Okay. Now, in all of this now, where we are is where you have a modern thinking people with an obsolete equipment who are thinking we need to move beyond this point. So what do you think about those who are suggesting unbundling the Nigerian Railway Corporation?
Okay, we've been on this unbundling train. I said that before I joined the railway. Why do you think?
1987.
Yeah, Raymond Zad.
We've been talking about unbundling since 1987.
Yeah. Raymond Zad.
So what's been going on?
What is going on? Where has it been unbundled in the world? Rail is an industry. If you look at UK, the concession, and they came back, government took over again. And that's what I was saying. Right now, we develop what we call track access framework. It means it permits you to bring your wagon, your locomotive, and carry your load on the national rail at a fee, not commercially fee, to ensure that the tracks are used. You see, we run 2 trains, return trips, Abuja, that is not how it should be. There should be train at least every 10 minutes. It's just like the airplane. Airplane is not supposed to be parked, it's supposed to be on air. So also the track is supposed to be occupied. With good signaling and communication, we should have train every 5 minutes.
So the individual transport companies can actually come and...
We have that we are marketing.
So how does it take? Are people
are coming. The board approved it about 2 years ago. What we do is that we give you the track access, go and study it, come back with your input if you want. We are very flexible. And that's what Lagos State is tapping in to do what they call the red line. We have the national rail. We were in a meeting and they were talking about right of way. They want to do another 2 standard gauge line from Agbado to Lagos. And I whispered to my minister then, why do we need to do another track? This track can take what Lagos State want to do and what we are doing. We are carrying people within Lagos and Ibadan. If Lagos State, they want to do it, we give them that option to do it. We concentrate on moving from Lagos to Kano, moving from Lagos to Ibadan, concentrate on freight. Let Lagos come. They don't need to be paying a huge sum for right of way. But they can outside to link, we stop at Apapa to link to Ido, and that's what they are doing.
Let's ask this thing about when would Nigeria get its fast rail? There's the other part about the coastal rail line, which was supposed to connect Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Akwa Ibom, all those riverine communities and all of that. How is that?
It's quite there. We're still talking about it. Contracts are whatever. We are finding the easiest way to do it. At the last time the minister was meeting with, the contract was given to Chinese. We are discussing with Chinese to say, okay, funding is difficult for you. Can 2-3 other people come with funding and do the contract together? That's where we are on that.
Okay.
Yeah. That is it's good it comes online. And every place has to, because so that nobody will feel neglected. That will give confidence to Nigeria.
Interesting. So about the speed trains, when are we getting our speed?
The speed we have now is enough.
Really?
We have 450 kilometers per hour.
150 kilometers. That's Kaduna, Abuja.
But we cannot do 150 because of our discipline. We do 100. We do. People run across. Cows run across. We put a fence from Kaduna to Abuja. People bring the fence down. The government just provided a free trade right. Look at what we are facing. People went there, clog the site because it is free. So it's our mentality, our culture that need to change.
When you say people clogged the site, was it people that clogged the site, or was it some of your staff members who were sabotaging the site? People? No, there are two different people. We're prospective passengers and staff. These are passengers, staff on the other side. So who was clogging the website? Is it the staff sabotaging the website, or the people who were seeking to get access?
Because any staff that clogged the site will be dealt with, because we have the back end. And our staff are registered on it, and they will definitely be traced. So we will do that and ensure that anybody who tries to support our government on that have to be brought to book. But the person is still a Nigerian. You know, yes. Even see, why would somebody want to have 5 tickets and eventually it's not going to travel? Whereas we rarely have intended people who want to travel. And what we could do as a railway is to ensure that when you want to travel, you must come with your ID cards, and to discourage you from getting second-hand or third-party ticket, match the goal to ensure that you cannot travel. But when it's paying time, by the time you pay 3,000, nobody will want to waste that. But because it's working up, the problem, and it became a problem to Nigerians that would have enjoyed the free trade right. So
the free trade right, did it work?
I think it worked. Some people benefited. It could not work 100% because of us.
Us, Nigeria, or the railway corporation? So
Nigerian railway, you see.
Because it looks like the government's likely to be doing this over and over again, quite often. So what would you say has been done to ensure that such a thing doesn't reoccur?
We will learn from this, what happened.
What lessons have you learned?
We want to do it a way that you put more things in place that somebody cannot acquire more than 1 ticket. What we have now is that people can acquire more than 4 tickets. And they can
for themselves, not for their relatives.
For themselves and relatives. Maybe you, your wife, and kids.
Mm-hmm. That's 1 ticket now. Yeah. If I'm traveling with my family, that's 1 ticket. Are you saying that I cannot acquire 4 tickets for myself as a person?
That's what we have now. But people abuse it.
How are they able to abuse it if there's
That's one of the lessons we are learning. That you can get it and come back and get it, which is not supposed to be.
Okay.
I know even on the airline, last time I was going to Port Harcourt, I told the friend I was going to Port Harcourt. They wanted to surprise me, bought a ticket for me. Whereas my protocol guy has already gotten the ticket. No, it was Benin I was going. So when I gave them my name, I was not with my day. They go and said, the PNR did not match what I have. So I said, okay, you have 2 tickets on this train, on this flight. I said, how possible? Then I called my friend, the man, he said, I bought 1 ticket for you. Did you look at your WhatsApp? I sent it to you. I said, I've not looked at it. So we'll be learning from that. The e-ticketing solution, some of the routes, Lagos, Ibadan, Warri, Itakbe, we are launching in November. So if this free trade have not happened, we will not know to what extent people can abuse it. Now that it was free, people abuse it. So we are talking with our provider, because it's concession, to really work hard to see that such thing doesn't happen, because it will come again.
Well, I traveled, I think sometime in December, to Kaduna, used the Idu train station, and in getting there, I had to get my ticket at the counter. Yeah. You were quoted, I think it was last month, saying that some of your staff were conniving with would-be passengers to sabotage the system. Has that been sorted? Because when I got there, I had to pay across counter. Yeah. It was easy. But December, people had issues buying their tickets across counter.
No, we stopped because it's free. What we have at the counter is that you can come and staff have a password, just like what you have in a bank at the top, to access that ticket dispensing machine. So if we have allowed people to sell at the ticket at the station, somebody can get there 6 a.m. and just be with different name, or because they have got you somebody who said, help me get ticket. And you know Nigeria, they don't do it most times. The person will come and say thank you because of that. Prevented somebody else. So during this street ride, we said no sales at the station. Person who want to travel, we extended online booking from 12 to 24, then to 48, so that you can book ahead. But don't come to the station, we will not sell. Because it would have been disaster if people come to the station already and to get ticket, they cannot get it. It can lead to riots. And the station facility will be at stake. So now we are back. Now that it's commercial. Okay. Our staff that are monitoring those things at the station are back to the station. People can go to the station now.
But they can also get online as well.
You can get online.
Okay.
We advise people to always get online to ensure that you have the tickets. Not that when you get there, they say it's full. Now, after imagine traveling from Matama to Edu and not get it there, they say you don't have. Although some people volunteer to stand, we allow it. All over the world, people stand on the train. So, but you have to volunteer to stand, and they will, on your ticket, you're right there standing. Don't go and occupy somebody else.
And you still pay a full ticket?
Full ticket, we don't have a ticket.
Okay. So those staff that compromised the system, what have we done?
They will face what the law says.
And what does the law say?
Government has what we call disciplinary procedures. You will be queried if you are found capable, depending on the gravity of the offense. The maximum you can pay is lose your job.
What advice would you give? I mean, especially considering that this is like you're winding down your time as MD and you'll probably be retiring to a different lifestyle. What advice would you be giving Nigeria and indeed the government for the real? So,
first of all, people should get themselves dedicated to what any assignment they give to them, whether there's something to benefit or not to benefit. As I said earlier, benefit always comes by the joy you express and enjoy the job as a last. Just enjoy the job. There's no need complaining.
All right.
That's what I would say. And we should. What I said now? Nigeria is made up of people, and we are the people. As you lay your bed, so you lie on it. So Nigerians should try and lay their bed properly, honestly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kira.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. That's our show for today. I want to thank you for staying with us and watching, and we hope you did enjoy the conversation. Let's get your feedback, what you think about what Engineer Hire had to say about the Nigeria rail system. The handles are right there on your screen. Please, we'll wait to hear from you. Till we come your way again, it's bye-bye.